Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is the TWitWoW weekly recap. Let's get right into it. When it comes to wrestling, you guys know both Ash and I are more or less checked out. I still try and keep up with YouTube clips that I find interesting. So here were the things that I found interesting this week. John Cena has finally won the Intercontinental Championship. And really, when I say finally, it should be more saying finally, has become a Grand Slam champion. There's wild speculation. Well, not wild, but there is speculation how long his title reign will even last. Some think that Dom will get it back at Survivor Series War Games. I honestly think that his retirement match is going to be him dropping the title against the last time is now tournament winner, which I said in Discord I expect to be Sheamus, this way that Sheamus can also then finally win the Intercontinental title and become a Grand Slam champion as well. Would also be fitting, given that John Cena was the person that Sheamus beat for his first WWE championship. So kind of a full circle ending there. Sheamus did advance. He beat Nakamura. I didn't really watch that. I'm just kind of reporting that to show that that is still a viable option. Also, Nikki Bella turns heel. And apparently the crowd chanted Cena left you as a way to kind of, clap back at her for turning heel on Bakar, who does seem to be a strong babyface to her credit. And Kabuki Warriors became the women's tag team champions for a third time. They have really come, it's funny because the Boston Hug Connection inaugurated those titles and they really wanted those titles and they fought for those titles. But I think if they're ever retired, which I'll be honest, I'm surprised they haven't been already, but if the day ever comes where they're ever inactive, I really do believe it's going to be the Kabuki Warriors that have defined that championship's just life and everything else. I mean, 3-time champs also have the longest reign, so good on the Kabuki Warriors. We have a women's war game set up, or so we thought, because now they're kind of complicating things a little bit, or trying to, because on SmackDown, the only reason I bring this up is because Io Sky stole this fucking segment. Because Alexa Bliss, all the women, so it's Rhea, Io, Alexa, and Charlotte, who dropped the tag titles to Kabuki Warriors, so that's where they fit into all this. They're on SmackDown. They're talking about war games with, I want to say, Kabuki Warriors, and then who were the other two people?
Nia and Lash.
Nia and Lash, that's right. Really cool for Lash, by the way. I'm still happy that she's like in the mix and all this, even if I don't care for Nia personally. And so yeah, that I thought was really, really cool for her. But yeah, you got the babyface team, Alexis talking about, the moment you said, war games and us being able to get our hands on those women, like I knew we'd be in, right, Charlotte? Now, because I'm biased, because you and I do this bit all the fucking time, I feel like Charlotte missed a golden opportunity, because if she just would have said no and walked out, promo of the year, I would have died. Even from Charlotte, I feel like it would have popped me. But instead,
she could have even leaned into the meme and agreed by just saying, woo, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And instead, she goes the weird route of, I'm sorry, Lexi, I can't pretend anymore. You barely even pretended to begin with. Like, it was just announced on Monday. They don't even do TV unless you're talking live events or whatever, but that's mostly matches and stuff. How long did you even have to pretend? Like, who pretend with who? I'm guessing in kayfabe, Alexa was talking about it, and Charlotte's like, yeah, sounds great. And then she just couldn't take it anymore, on live TV in front of everybody. But the reason I'm even talking about this, Io's fucking face when Charlotte said, I can't pretend anymore, Rhea, I don't trust you, and like she just took herself out of the match and she walks away from Alexa, Rhea, and Io, was priceless. Fucking priceless. Io, we love you. I'm not going to pretend like I've been the biggest Io fan. She's very much like a Danielson for me, where I very much admire her work to the point where I probably subconsciously take it for granted. I mean, my cohort and commentary here has been the day one Io stand between the two of us, but my God, just precious. That face, I was dying. I need this woman to do at least one sitcom in Japan or something. I will watch it. Hell, you don't even need subtitles, because her body language is on another fucking level. Because she was like, what? Like, she just couldn't believe that Charlotte is pulling out of this thing now. It's like, what are you doing? And the only thing that kind of perturbs me and worries me is like, you know how it's kind of our, and I know Charlotte's not a heel right now, but you know how like it's been our big kind of annoyance that they like to make characters like Charlotte and Alexa write about shit. I really hope, because she called Rhea a snake in the grass, and I've expected Rhea to turn on Io really for a while. But if she does it at fucking War Games, which I don't think she will, I'm just saying if she does, I'm gonna think back to Charlotte calling Rhea out, and I'm gonna be like, really, WWE, you made it in kayfabe for Charlotte Flair to be right. Fuck you. So we'll have to see if that happens. And then yeah, the only thing from NXT is yeah, Tatum accepted a rematch challenge from JC Jane against the wishes of Izzy and the culling. And Ricky Saints retained against Trick, and then Ober returned at the end of the show. So I'm thinking Trick is done with NXT. I honestly am hoping we get a call up for him post Survivor Series War Games, if not a bit sooner. I don't know what they want to do. Maybe he'll even answer Ilya's U.S. Open Challenge, which I think would be a weak debut for him. I personally think Trick deserves better, but that's just me. But yeah, that's it for me from the wrestling. You know, just out of courtesy, I always like to field it to you. I never want to be presumptuous. Is there anything wrestling wise you want to talk about?
I don't really have anything positive to say about wrestling, but I mean, if you want to hear some of my opinions on what I think sucked this week, I can give you some.
Do I want to hear opinions emanating from your face? Is the world an utter shithole controlled by oligarchs? Give me those opinions, King. Fuck.
Okay. Well, everything that happened at TNA's pay-per-view last night was pretty garbage from what I saw.
Yes.
They had 6 people from NXT attack Mike Santana with their sort of leader being Robert Stone of all people. Um, and I think the worst thing about it is that you've got it's like split down the middle between dweebs and guys that I actually like. Like you've got Jensen, Brooks Jensen. You've got King, Lexus King. Um, I don't remember who the other guy was, but I remember very specifically that Charlie Dempsey and Tyreek and Tyson are all in it as well. And I thought it was egregious, honestly. Um, do you remember who the sixth member of that group was? Because I'm blanking on this.
No, I don't.
I wonder if I typed it out already. I don't think I did, or if I did, it's back pretty far in the Discord channel. Oh wait, I might have found it. No, never mind. Anyway, point being, I think that uh, this whole NXT TNA relationship was probably never going to benefit TNA all that much, but I do feel like it's been somehow worse. Oh, Stacks! Stacks was the sixth guy.
Wow,
It's
yeah.
somehow managed to be worse than I even expected it to be, though. Because, like, don't get me wrong, I don't necessarily think that TNA is a dead horse worth beating, but I also don't think that it's worth saving either. I think TNA kind of dug their own grave. Honestly, if there's any smaller level promotion that I would love to see get platformed and get made a bigger deal out of, and maybe even get a TV deal, it is Maple Leaf Wrestling, the promotion run by oh God, I'm blanking again. The Team Canada leader guy, I forget his name.
Dr. Moore?
Thank you. Yes, the Scott Demore promotion that he made after he got fired from TNA because it seemed to me at least at the time like the actual like corporation that owns TNA was actively trying to sabotage the product so that it would fail and they could sell it off and not be associated with wrestling anymore, kind of like AOL back in 2001. But yeah, no, that sucked. Um, TNA is now doing some kind of an angle with Mike Santana where they planted a story in the wrestling media that he didn't show up to work today or something like that, or last night it might have been. I don't know. Um, it's all just bad. And then I did have SmackDown on because my mom loves Rhea Ripley, and once she found out that Rhea was on SmackDown, she insisted on watching it. And she doesn't have a VPN on her computer, so I had to spoof us being in London, England on my TV and pull it up on Netflix so we could watch that. And I saw this segment that was Rhea, Io, Charlotte, and Bliss on SmackDown all talking in the ring, and I was in a lot of pain for that time. It was really bad. Uh, I think even Rhea nowadays is really not good on the mic at all. I think she was actually really cringe during that segment. And then Alexa Bliss came out and wasn't much better. And then Charlotte got on the mic and showed us all that, maybe Rhea and Bliss weren't that bad.
Damn. Can I ask you a follow-up question on the Rhea thing, just out of curiosity?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember much from Mike work as a heel, but do you feel like she's a better heel promo, or do you just in general think she's not a good promo?
I really do. My thing is, she comes off as very fake to me on the mic. It comes off as very try hard, very like the man Becky Lynch. I gotta come off like a tough guy, so I'm gonna put on this persona and pretend that I'm this other person kind of thing. And really fake acty promos have always been cringe in my opinion in wrestling. Um, and that's definitely where I am with Rhea right now personally. I think that she's a great talent, she's a great wrestler, she has a great personality in real life, but when she goes out there and she puts on her deep, scary voice and she is basically given a script that she has to read word for word. And I mean, there was even a point that she said untouchable twice within like two sentences, and that sounded weird to me too. And it just didn't connect with me. It's probably just a me thing. My mom has raved about how much she thinks that Rhea's awesome on the mic before. I think you have even stood up for Rhea on the mic before. I guess it's just a me thing. It's more of a me thing than a her thing. I just think that she's not good on the mic personally. I think it's kind of cringe.
Hey man, we accept all opinions here, and that is perfectly acceptable. Yeah,
I
there's
also
nothing
saw that
else.
Zack Ryder was LA Knight's mystery opponent on SmackDown, and I saw that he got no pop.
Yeah, I laughed when I saw that because I'm like, man, that is just the perfect encapsulation of suck if I've ever seen it in my life. And SmackDown's apparently going to go back to 3 hours, so good luck with that,
Yeah,
everyone else.
if I still actively paid attention to the product and watched it, I would be really, really pissed about that. But I don't, so I don't have to care. It makes me really happy actually knowing that they're doing shit that I hate, and I don't even have to care about it.
I want to reiterate for the umpteenth time, I love that for you, and it's been
Yeah,
looking amazing on you ever since.
thanks,
And
bud.
so, yeah,
Yeah.
I really do.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
I
I
didn't
mean,
actually watch this, but just to kind of comment on it, I saw that AEW did Blood and Guts this week, and I actually saw several people on social media. This is me more commenting on social media commentary than the product itself. I saw several people on social media talking about how the Blood and Guts matches and really just kind of this idea that like AEW does such sort of over the top ultra violent type matches on TV, was it just a huge reason why a lot of people don't watch the product anymore. And of course, the AEW fans in their comments telling them that the baby fed is that way, and that there's no blood in WWE, and there were even people trying to call these people out for their hypocrisy by saying, "Oh, well, if you didn't like these matches, you must have hated CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell." You're not allowed to just dislike something AEW related with valid reason on the internet, because as soon as you do, hordes of their simps are in your mentions. And depending on what platform you're using, if you criticize AEW, you'll even get called like a Nazi or a conservative. It is actually ridiculous. It's funny because we said when AEW first started that they were basically kind of adopting the Ring of Honor fan base, and I feel like this is like the natural next step evolution of what we lovingly in 2010 referred to as ROH bots.
yeah, yeah. I mean, man, I just accept the way you've kind of accepted being disconnected from the product. I'd say even better than me, honestly, because again, I'm still watching the YouTube clips and stuff. I've just accepted being kind of an old head in my own way, where like, bro, I can go back and watch Ruthless Aggression era stuff and have the biggest smile on my face, just because I really do believe there was more selling then. There is still work right now, but I know it's weird to say, but I feel like it was a different kind of work rate. It wasn't let's do a million moves. a minute. It was more, let's put on a really compelling match and like keep the intensity going.
Well,
Like I
I
don't
think it
think,
was a
yeah,
it was a sense of urgency to actually win the match rather than a sense of
yeah,
urgency to show off your shit and get your
yeah,
moves.
yeah, yeah.
Like if
And
you go back and you watch those angle matches from the early 2000s and mid 2000s, and you really get a sense while you're watching him work that he is actively trying to win this match rather than he wants to impress people.
yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was the recent, I think it was like a day or two ago, the 20th anniversary of Eddie Guerrero's passing. I mean, to this day, I'm telling you, few wrestlers, if any, and I will say few to be charitable, because I do think there have obviously been a few geniuses since then, men and women. We were just talking about Io Sky, for instance, that could really lace that man's boots. I mean, the most complete performer you could ever ask for. And yeah, I just, I miss wrestlers like that. In fact, and that's something I've been consistent about. If you guys go back in the archives, there was a time I used to say quite a bit that I miss journeyman wrestlers. I miss wrestlers that would ply their craft maybe first in Japan, then in Mexico. Now we still do have like international talents and stuff, but I'm talking those that like go all around the world before going to the big promotion. And I think the problem with that is that one, the indie scene is dead, and two, you're in an age now where the big companies, at least for us, because again, we're more disconnected and we're just burnt out. It's just not serving a product that we like. This is where the business is at right now. Now, could it ever circle back to stuff that we like? I honestly think that it could, because what's old is new again, right? It's just not where it's at right now. So yeah, that's essentially it for wrestling there. With politics, you know what? I'm going to do something a bit different this week because there's only really one big story. Now, granted, I do still want us to keep eyes and ears on Venezuela. Trump apparently said today that he's made up his mind, but he's not telling anybody about what he's going to do with Venezuela because, that's comforting. That's really comforting. And Venezuela has mobilized its soldiers, its working class soldiers to, defend the front lines just in case, because U.S. aggression is just heating up. So yeah, that's one big thing. Head of the Department of Agriculture said that everybody that was on SNAP is going to have to reapply at some point. So see, this is why. Okay, before I get into the big story, because I was going to say, obviously the big story is fucking Epstein, and like that's going to be the big talking point this week, especially because a shit ton of fucking emails, which are distinct from the files, I might add, and I think we should make that clear. These are distinct from the actual files. And I'm telling you, social media is cursed because I'm already seeing on Facebook reels that are like, oh, Trump wasn't in the Epstein files. Take that, liberals, because we know that all social media is going for the right wing. Um, but I just have to say, this is why you don't compromise with fucking fascists, and this is why you don't compromise. I usually don't like absolute terms like good and evil, but this is why you don't compromise with evil. I think starving kids, I think cutting pediatric cancer research, which is what Elon Musk's Doge did early on in Trump's second term. I think these acts are fucking evil. And I could say that with full confidence. You don't negotiate with evil because you end up with nothing, because they gave a false binary, a false dichotomy between you can, shut us down and maybe force us into your healthcare, ACA subsidies that you want extended for a year. Oh my God, a whole year. This is how far away we are from the fucking national healthcare discourse. Or you can lose your fucking SNAP benefits. They want everything. They want people like us to die. I've been saying that. I know to some it probably sounds hyperbolic, but no, they hate fucking poor people. They hate people that aren't like them. They always have. That's literally the platform. They don't have any original ideas. They don't have anything that's actually nation building. All they know how to do is to destroy. And then what's ever left, they just divvy up among themselves. So this whole thing of like, oh, we had to protect SNAP. You didn't even fucking do that. Because now that agriculture is like, oh, we've got to have everybody reapply to weed out fraud. Now, what standard of arbitration between fraud and not do you think they're going to invoke to get a lot of people off the system? They want the social safety net utterly fucking destroyed. And Chuck Schumer and establishment Democrats fucking caved, including both my senators, because one knew that they're retiring this year and the other knew that they're not up again until 2028. And like, yeah, even though the shutdown again was winning Democrats, they were having electoral wins that I feel like they haven't seen in so long. And they weren't even all like Mamdani, who again had an impressive victory. A lot of them were your like centrist Democrats or establishment, but people understand that the worst Democrat by and large is still better, even if only marginally, to the best Republican, right? And rather than riding that wave, rather than just embracing that, wow, people are really on our side, maybe we should uptake for them, you fucking sold them out again, which is why I will say, as a far leftist, unapologetically, that the Democratic Party is not a true opposition party. And if people are annoyed by far leftists like myself and Ashton and other people, on this show and in our comments, it's because we're usually right really fucking early. And so that's your problem to fucking deal with, because once again, Democrats disappoint. So that's that too. They're coming for SNAP benefits. They're just trying to act like it's fraud, which was the tactic that Doge used. And you saw all the good that they fucking did. So now, finally, big story this week, fucking Epstein. So let me ask first, because this is a big thing. Brother, have you seen anything about these emails beyond our conversations? Have you read any yourself? Have you done anything independently of our conversations relating to this big story this week?
I mean, I've seen headlines of stuff, but most of it is stuff that we've already kind of talked about in conversations.
Yeah, yeah. And that's fair. That's fair. Really, the two big things to me, I won't even dwell on this too long because Ashton's right. I think we already knew like a lot of this stuff. But the two big things to me were, one, Jeffrey Epstein of all people called Trump the most evil person he knows. That is horrifying to me. When a guy that is objectively fucking despicable is like, but that guy though, holy fucking shit. And I'll tell you, it's reignited the rumors that Trump had Epstein assassinated. I don't really like to do conspiracy on this show, but I mean, apparently Steve Bannon was also coaching Epstein on how to rehabilitate his reputation weeks before his assassination. A lot of people in the
Oh,
regime.
okay. I
Yeah,
mean, you called it an assassination outright, but I think as far as like the official story is concerned, you committed suicide.
that is the official story. And, again, I got to be careful what I say on here. We don't really want to dabble in conspiracy, but I mean, let's be real. This whole thing is fucking nuts, right? Like, this whole thing is fucking insane. And yeah, the other big thing, now I say allegedly in coquina clutch fucking air quotes, but it is being strongly alleged from those emails that it seems like Donald Trump gave oral sex to Bill Clinton. Which,
For
if that's
20
true, that
bucks
isn't. Beg pardon?
on a $20 bet.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like, um, that is insane that Bill Clinton is like in a similar kind of scandal fucking twice with two completely different people. That is insane.
I
What
saw
the?
I saw a
Yeah,
tweet about that actually that popped me. Let me find it because the exact wording is what popped me. Uh let me see here. Here it is. No, that's not it. Here it is. Oh wait, no, that wasn't it either. Here it is. This guy Skylar Higley on X at Skylar_Higley said, "Look, whatever you want to say about Bill Clinton, at least he's consistent. My man is addicted to top. He don't care who it's from."
yeah, I saw that. That was great. Um, so yeah, yeah, just a wild fucking week as far as that goes. And apparently so much so, actually, here's another angle we can take it, because rather than talking about the content of the emails, which is way too exhaustive, and I've only seen a few, apparently there are like 20,000 out there, which is insane. And though, and I don't even say this as a diss, that people that are really into conspiracy shit and have been on this Epstein shit from day one, they're gonna read every single one. Like, there's somebody out there that's like, oh yeah, I'm reading all this. This is my weekend reading. Uh, but tell you, apparently internally, the White House is feeling pressure from this because they called meetings with two of the worst people that I've hated for fucking years, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. But to their mesmerizing credit, I can't believe I live in a world where I'm giving credit to either of these people, let alone both of them. Neither one so far is seemingly backing down, to the point where when it comes to Marjorie Taylor Greene, Trump has publicly disavowed her and cut ties. Now, I will say this, okay, and I really feel the need to say this. Let us absolutely not whitewash Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think we even said it last week. I think you made a great point. Every article talking about her, anytime we talk about her, should be opened with the woman that once unironically said Jewish space lasers, Marjorie Taylor Greene. We can never forget who she is. We can never forget where she comes from. But I do still find now having said that, I do still find this spat interesting. I really do think what's happening right now is a civil war within the Republican Party with multiple factions. I've talked to Ashton about a couple. I'm worried about the Nick Fuentes, aka the Groyper faction, very much dictating the future of the GOP. There's still MAGA, but then MAGA is kind of ambiguous because what happens when you have a cult of personality and you don't really have a line of succession? Because I think Trump has only half-heartedly been like, oh yeah, JD would make a good president. Okay, yeah, this dude only cares about himself. I think giving anybody else credit pains him, honestly. But I think when you have that cult of personality and you have an ideology as ambiguous as MAGA, you have so many people that want to fill the vacuum of I'm the truest MAGA. I'm what MAGA really represents, right? And so I think you're having that going on. Now, what's interesting is, so again, Trump has disavowed Green, has said, her the failing state of Georgia under her leadership and this and that because she won't back down on Epstein. And she has also said she blamed Republicans for the shutdown. She said Grijalva needed to be, sworn in, which thankfully she has been since this has all gone down. And she seemingly is given more flack to Republicans. However, she even went on The View, and when she was giving that flack, she still said, but Trump is still my favorite president, all that. She still did like the Republican talking points, which is why I say, like, don't get too cozy with her, which Democrats are like itching to do because their 10 is way too big to the point where it's utterly meaningless. Yeah, well, it's the same people. When Elon Musk showed a bit of tension with Trump, there were Democrats that were like, we need to show Elon Musk that we can reflect his values too. It's not just Republicans. And I'm like, I literally hate all of you so much. But yeah, and you could tell that Democrats would love to be like, hey, Marge, the water's fine over here. And, fuck you. Fuck all of you. But Marjorie Taylor Greene then comes out and says that she has received so many death threats and so many people, coming to her and saying vile things to her and this and that. She also says that she got a lot of support and she appreciates it. But she did say that, Trump is the reason I got all this harassment. So now there does seem to be more open discord here. And that's the thing. Here is why their authoritarianism needs to succeed. Because if it doesn't, they know that they're cooked. Like, I know that we are horrible as a nation as far as our historical memory and our collective memory. But, like, I don't even mean like that. I'm not saying they'll never take power again. I'm saying this party is going to be so fucking fractured. Memory may not even bail them out. If they win anything, it's going to be from some fucking fringe party or maybe going back to establishment repubs like a Mitt Romney type or whatever the fuck. This party is fracturing at an alarming rate for them. And that's why they need to consolidate power under this banner now, in my mind, because they're like, shit, if we don't do this, when are we ever going to get a chance like this again? Because it's a hot fucking mess in there. So, yeah, it is a very interesting time in American politics while quality of life and everything else continues to get fucking worse. So, yeah, just keep staying safe out there, everybody. It is fucking nuts. I'm guessing more is going to develop with the whole Epstein thing and everything else in the coming weeks. I don't know what's going to happen with the MAGA wing of the party because, again, everybody, it seems to be a power grab. Right now on betting sites for the Republican favorite for 2028, Don Jr. is actually the favorite, seemingly, over Trump himself, probably because nobody feasibly expects him to live throughout his entire second term to even run for a third term, which he's not even legally allowed to do. So, yeah. That's essentially politics that I want to talk about this week. Did other stuff happen? Probably. But honestly, I'm starting to get a little overloaded. I mean, they talk about flooding the zone. That's starting to happen with me a little bit. Oh, there is one bit of good news, though. I should say this. Another mayoral race that happened in Seattle.
Yes.
Woman won that's very similar to Mamdani, another Democratic socialist, talked about freezing rents and stuff like that. Who knew that he actually economically serving people wins fucking elections? And this is, again, if it seems like I'm coming down harder on the Democrats, it's because we already know the right-wingers are awful. They're in power. They get to show that they're awful every single fucking day. Why I'm harder on Democrats is that they're playing footsies with the fascists under the fucking table. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries need to go. And honestly, I have no more time tolerance or patience for establishment Democrats. People like Mamdani and this woman who won the Seattle mayoral race, who I wish I could remember her name. I do not. They are the future of the party. That's where the party's going if you want to have a viable winning future, right? So, yeah, once again, true, authentic economic populism from the left that doesn't throw people under the bus, even though New York Times is itching to fucking do it. They are itching to be like, no, no, you still need to appeal to centrists and moderates and don't talk so much about social issues. Oh, you mean don't talk so much about how trans people and black people are, fucking people and shouldn't be dehumanized or killed by police or occluded from medical care. Oh, so that's not a winning issue. Funny, because these people and Graham Plattner in Maine currently, who's still kind of winning in the polls, and I think it's going to translate into an election win. We'll see. They're not throwing those people under the bus. In fact, at a recent Graham Plattner rally, he even told a trans person, I will fight alongside you. And I got a nice ovation from the crowd. Turns out, you don't need to fucking cannibalize people that aren't in dominant social groups to win fucking elections. It should be really fucking obvious, but I guess we have to spell it out. So, yeah, that was politics this week. We're run by a bunch of oligarchic fucking pedophiles, especially from the Republican Party, because it's a grand old pedophile party. And yeah, that's really all I've got to say there. Is there anything you want to comment on from political news this week? Anything you're bringing to the table?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was like 3 or 4 topics ago that you were talking about that I had something to comment on, and now I forget what it even was. Fuck.
We talked about Epstein. We talked about the mayoral race in
No, it
Seattle.
was
That
more.
was very.
It was. Oh, it was because you mentioned. You were like sarcastic talking about how like who would have thought that these economic messages are winners? I think everyone knows that, including the corporations and the corporate Democrats, and that's exactly why they're trying to prevent it from happening.
Yeah, yeah, because they have their own interest to answer to. In fact, that's one reason why people are speculating Schumer caved, because companies like Walmart and this and that, they subsidize employees with SNAP, so they don't have to pay them higher fucking wages.
Yeah.
So,
Also, I just wanted to
yeah,
say I'm looking at Polymarket, and the current favorite to be the Republican presidential nominee in 2028 is still J.D. Vance.
because the poll that I saw from Secular Talk, although that was a few days ago, really did have Don Jr. JD Vance was actually pretty fucking low.
I'm
Actually, no,
seeing.
you know what? Maybe I'm misremembering, because I think JD Vance might have actually been the favorite. I think you're right, because I think he used
Yeah,
Polymarket as well.
just
Okay.
doing just on Polymarket, JD Vance has a 57% chance. Marco Rubio's at 8%. Marjorie Taylor Greene has shot up to 4%. Donald Trump, like the current president's at 3%. Tucker Carlson's at 3%. Ron DeSantis 2%. And then all of Trump's kids, I think, are at 1%. Donald Jr., Ivanka. Oh no, that's it. It's just those two actually. But yeah, no, there are a bunch of 1% as well.
I'm
But yeah,
wondering if things changed or if I'm misremembering. The latter's probably more likely, but either way, I mean, the Republican Party is shit. I mean, you hear those fucking options. Jesus Christ. And that's the funny thing. If
oh,
the
want me to
Democratic.
go over the Dem options?
Oh, well, I know Gavin Newsom's got to be number one.
He is. Yeah, he's in the lead with a 38% chance currently. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is second, 12%. Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg are tied for third at 5%. Then John Ossoff and Josh Shapiro are tied for fifth at 4%. Wes Moore, I can't fucking stand that guy. Wes Moore is seventh place, 3%. And then we've got a four-way tie for eighth place at 2% between Andy Bashir, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, J.B. Pritzker, and Gretchen Whitmer.
Jesus Christ, we're in hell. All right.
Dude,
Um,
I saw a video recently of Wes Moore, and it was him and a Republican governor of a state. I don't remember which one. But they were talking about how they are, I'm black, I'm white, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, blah, 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 like talking about all these differences. And then they basically said, we're buddies because we don't get politics. We don't let politics get in the way of our friendship. And people who do are sickos.
God, folks, I gotta level with you. I love you all, and I do ultimately love life. But when I hear shit like that, I do quietly root for the aneurysm to just take me. Um, because Jesus fucking like, and again, it has to be a willful ignorance to your point. So I don't want to belabor this too much, but people want to support parties that actually fight for shit and believe in shit. I mean, that is one reason why we don't talk about it enough. Well, I think we talk about it a good amount. I'm just talking about the mainstream discourse. The right, for all their fucking faults, which they're just nothing but faults, they actually believe in the shitty stuff that they want to do. And that's why people get behind them. They say with their whole chest, well, at least, they're going to start to, I think, before too long, that, yeah, Hitler wasn't so bad. And yeah, America should just be for white people. I mean, they're practically saying that already, but just in a thin veneer, right, of subtlety.
Here it
And,
is. It was
yeah,
Spencer Cox. It was Utah Governor Spencer Cox that he made this video with.
yeah, yeah. Jesus Christ.
The title of the video is Disagree Better.
Oh my God. Oh my God. See, no, you know what? No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the fucking discourse. No, because you already know. You already know, and our audience already knows what the fuck I'm going to say. We're a very small segment, and I think we all already agree. No, I'm not fucking doing it. Fuck the Democratic Party. Fuck the Republican Party. I am begging. I am begging for this empire to just die so we can move on to better fucking things. Because really, that's where I am. I mean, I talked to my mom this week. I love her so much, and I'm so proud. But yeah, I talked to my mom this week, and we were talking about the political landscape, and she said I co-signed later after thinking about it. She's like, I think it's just all gotta burn. And like, I don't say that lightly, and I reminded her not to say that lightly, because when you say those things, it always comes at a cost, right? Like, loss of life is happening and will continue to happen. And even if things were changing in a positive direction, that would probably have to come at the expense again of loss of life and other things. But I get why she would say it. Because when you're in this fucking system for so fucking long, and it feels so totalizing with its tentacles fucking everywhere and this and that, the only answer you could really come to isn't vote harder, Obama. Like, I used to hate when he used to patronize voters like that. You got to get out and you got to vote. You got to do the work. Not one candidate is for Medicare for all or for a minimum wage that I could actually fucking live on. Vote for what? Vote for what, you piece of shit? And I still think just liberal voters haven't reckoned themselves to how damaging Obama's presidency was compared to how he campaigned. But I'm not about to open up that can of worms. Not today. But yeah, no, I understand why she feels that way. And again, I'm happy to see more people being like, why the fuck am I paying taxes? What the fuck is going on? What are we doing here? Yes, ask those questions. Keep asking them and asking them loudly. And if you authentically pursue the answers, you're not going to like what you see, but that's the first step to fucking healing. So yeah, fuck all these people. And by the way, a special fuck you to Megyn Kelly, who tried to make it seem that what Epstein did wasn't so bad because the girl was 15. It's not like she's 8 years old, right? In one anecdote, at least. So yeah, Megyn Kelly trying to normalize pedophilia on her fucking platform. Real classy. But then again, this was also the same woman that once did a Fox News segment of, Santa isn't black, Santa's white. So she's always just been a pillar of journalistic fucking excellence. And now, before the aneurysm really does make that fiery babyface comeback.
In here again and talk about
yes,
this Wes Moore situation.
Yes, please.
The guy that he made this video with, Spencer Cox. I was just looking him up to see. I'm seeing here that Wikipedia describes him, or Wikipedia says that he is described as a moderate Republican. He is pro-life, meaning he's anti-abortion. He's pro-forced birth, is what that translates to. And he apparently is one of these nut jobs that doesn't like fluoride in water. And he signed a bill into law in March of this year banning Utah's public water from having fluoride in it. And I guess he's a little more pro LGBTQ than most Republicans, but he's pretty strictly anti-trans because he was one of the assholes who was trying to get Iman Khalif removed from the Olympics.
Oh God, I fucking hate it.
But Wes Moore's cool with him though. They're like buddies. They're like, oh yeah, we're both dads who love college basketball and we're both bald. Aren't we cool?
Yeah. I just
fuck me about that shit.
Dude, I hate it here so much. Oh, speaking of people that hate it here, There was a Gallup poll recently. That's something else I'd like to share. Let me see, because I'm pretty sure that I posted it because I just vomit all of my political opinions in any articles I see on our Discord, which you all can get. Is it still $3 a month to subscribe? It
You
probably is. So
betcha,
yeah,
bud.
yeah, $3 a month, people. Get in on all this sweet content. Let me see. No, that was Super Blue. Oh, this was talking about Larry. Was it Larry Summers? Larry Summers. Yeah, he was also named in the Epstein files, and they were going to make him part of Project 2029 for the Democrats. Again, I hate it here just so much.
Yeah, Project 2029, which is being written by a billionaire instead of like, people who actually want to fix Trump's shit.
Yes. Oh, also, this is another news thing that I shared in the Discord that I feel like I want to address here. So again, why you don't negotiate with fucking evil and people that want to do what they want to do and fuck your other side and fuck compromise, which even if they were pro compromise, it would never be in favor of us. It would always be in favor of the wealthy interests. They snuck in, that being the Republicans, on this funding bill, restriction on THC. Now, I've since learned, since I posted this article. This article was from Thursday, November 13th. Um, this is threatening a $28 billion industry and 300,000 American jobs. Now, what I've understood is that this would only affect not necessarily dispensaries per se, but gas stations and other places that sell like Delta 8 and Delta 9, like the synthetic stuff. But still, that is a huge economic hit. And again, 300,000 jobs are at risk. And really, Texas has really benefited from the THC industry. Kentucky, Utah, obviously Colorado, that's been a staple. We've known that. And here's the crazy thing. This was a last request from the turtle himself, Mitch McConnell, on his way out because he's finally fucking leaving, unfortunately not in a casket. Um, and so, yeah, he made this last request. Why? Well, he comes from Kentucky. And what was dominant in Kentucky before THC and weed products? Booze. So a lot of people are thinking that McConnell is doing this at the behest of the alcohol industry because the preferential desire for weed and the consumption of weed products, whether gummies, drinks, whatever, has been increasing every year. I wonder why. Because when you live in a social fucking shithole, nobody really wants to raw dog living in fascism. I certainly fucking don't. So, yeah, THC industry got majorly fucking kneecapped, making America great again after all, with those, with all those new jobs and all that wealth coming in, you're taking away 28
Oh yeah,
billion
speaking
fucking
of
dollars.
jobs, I saw something about unemployment is at like an insane low rate right now, and then that they're just not reporting it.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Huh.
Let me see if I can
Well,
find a number for you. No. Unemployment. Let's see. You can keep on doing what you're doing, man. I'm gonna see if I can
yeah.
find this number.
Yeah, so while you're looking for that, since I talked enough about the hemp industry getting fucking kneecapped, which is really going to devastate a lot of state economies and stuff like that, I also want to talk about that a Gallup poll came out that a record number of younger women want to leave the U.S. Again, what a fucking surprise. In 2025, women aged 15 to 44 said that they would move abroad permanently if they had the opportunity. The current figure is 4 times higher than the 10% who shared this desire in 2014 when it was generally in line with other age and gender groups. So, yeah, big spike among young and middle-aged women. And again, I wonder why. When you have an overtly hostile regime that hates women, that wants to dispossess them in every way, that is seemingly an oligarchic pedophile cabal, kind of running everything and doing cover-ups for Epstein and Trump and everything else. When again, the Republican Party is littered with pedophiles. When the Matt Gaetz story, that was another thing. Matt Gaetz this week, the woman that he preyed upon, this, well, I shouldn't say woman, the child he preyed upon, because I think she's still only 17. She spoke out and she said, she met Gates because she was, living in poverty. I forget what her family situation was. She needed braces and like other like medical care. So she faked her age on a kind of sugar daddy site and yeah, ended up in Gates's crosshairs, and the rest, as they say, is history. So yeah, I don't blame women in that age group for thinking like, maybe I'm not really safe in this country. Maybe this country is kind of fucking gross. And yeah, that's now up 40%, up to 40%. So up 30% from the 10% that was reported back in 2014. That's the state of the country right now for women, and that's fucking awful. Just checking in with you. Did you find the stuff you were looking for?
No.
Okay, do you want to give up on it, or do you
Yeah,
still
we're
want to
just gonna
look?
have to move on.
All right, well, that's it for me. So now we can get into the popular culture stuff. And I actually want you to go first because I've been talking a lot. So why don't you take the reins on this one for this week, and you open up
Okay.
with, yeah, your stuff.
Oh yeah, sure. Let me pull up the watch list. Actually, it's been a pretty Stranger Things centric week for us. We've been rewatching Stranger Things in preparation for season 5 coming out. We've managed to watch the entirety of seasons 1, 2, and 3 and the first 5 episodes of season 4. It's fantastic. One of the very few shows I think actually that I would be willing to rewatch every single year. Uh, we also did It Welcome to Derry episode 3 this week. That was freaky. And just last night, we watched a brand new Netflix movie that literally just dropped yesterday called In Your Dreams, and it was very cute, albeit maybe a little bit less on the substance side. It was cute, though, for sure.
Like your face. Continue.
No, that's all I have for the week in terms of what we've watched. Just because we've just been doing Stranger Things all week. Honestly, that's been the main thing. In
Uh,
terms of like
yeah.
games played, I did. I actually did play a little bit of a new game earlier this week called 20 Minutes Till Dawn. It is a roguelite bullet heaven type game, kind of along the same lines as Vampire Survivors. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed it for an hour or two. I also very recently downloaded and started playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl on my one handheld device that I got a few weeks ago. Man, I know that Melee is like the Smash Bros. Game in terms of like smooth movement and responsiveness and just being able to actually do what you want. But I have such a soft spot for Brawl. I fucking love that game, and I'm really looking forward to getting into the Subspace Emissary, which is the single player campaign in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. That's going to be fun. Also, just been doing a shit ton of research on Pokemon Legends ZA. I have a whole spreadsheet of basically every potential type available in the game and how to counter it, hard counter it, like have a Pokemon that resists any stab attacks that the opponent can do and hit it super effectively. So that's been taking up a lot of my time. I think that's about it, though. That's pretty much been my week. It's been a pretty chill week.
All right, then I will also keep it brief
Yeah.
because obviously copy paste everything you said. And then the only other things would be I am all caught up on Has Been Hotel. I'm very excited for the finale next
Yes.
week. That has been wonderful. I'm so glad I kind of continued on that journey. It has been very rewarding. The second season's fantastic. And I'm not going to be able to heartbreak because it's already confirmed to be renewed for seasons 3 and 4. So awesome. I get to really
Speaking
just
of
enjoy the journey.
renewals,
Yeah.
we are definitely looking forward to Fallout Season 2, but apparently Fallout Season 3 has already been confirmed.
Oh, wow. That was easy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Um and so yeah, so Has Been Hotel, and you just said Fallout got confirmed for season 3 already. That's insane. Um Seether apparently has a new album, but I've only heard one song from it so far. I do want to make time to go listen to
Oh,
the album. I admittedly don't even remember the song name. Maybe it would be recent enough in my history that if I typed in Seether, it would just pop up.
yeah, there you go.
Um I think it was Lost All Control. Yeah, it's Lost All Control was the song.
There you
Um
go.
and NF put out a new EP, which shocked the fuck out of me, and a lot of people think that a new album is coming. Really cool, really cool. I wish he would do like kind of rap where he kind of puffs his chest out and talks his shit. There was one song in that EP that did that, but I want more of that. Sometimes the songs can get a little too in their feelings. I mean, they affected me, but like I don't know. I like to listen to that kind of music, get fired up, and I'm like, oh man, now I'm thinking about stuff. And it's like, I'm already thinking about stuff all the time. Where is my reprieve, goddammit? So yeah, NF put out an EP. I recommend anybody that's a fan of his, check that out. And yeah, if you're a fan of like groups like Seether, they put out an album, check that out at your
Yeah, the
leisure.
the name of the album is The Surface Seems So Far.
I like that actually. I like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
I think
Um,
uh just one little thing that I'll add is that it's been a week of me being obsessed with K-pop Demon Hunters.
nice.
I mean, we watched that movie like a month or two ago, but the songs are just so good that they will randomly get stuck in my head or get played on the radio or get brought up on a playlist that I play on my phone on YouTube Music. And sometimes all it takes is a little bit of a trigger, and then any of those songs playing will get me into it. And I've been listening to that music a lot. And I've also just been watching YouTube reactions to the movie, and it's really cool to see. I've actually ended up subscribing to like 2 or 3 new reactors just based on their K-pop Demon Hunters reactions.
You know what? That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
That's really fucking cool. Um, all
I
right.
also had to unsubscribe from a YouTube reactor that I had been subscribed to for years, like within the last week, I would say, because they did a reaction to fucking Harry Potter movie. And I'm like, if you're still supporting Harry Potter in the year of our Lord 2025, I'm fucking out.
Yeah, I don't blame you, honestly. At most, I would accept if people just wanted to pirate it, but like you don't platform it, right? And you don't
That's
give
my
it
thing,
money.
right? Like that feels to me, it's kind of like the way that like all of these different artists have been publicly disowning the usage of their songs in like government videos and like ICE videos and shit, and Taylor Swift won't. Like they'll use her songs and she just hasn't denounced it. She hasn't said anything at all. It's kind of along those lines where it's like if you're doing this, it feels an awful lot like a message to me. And I can't imagine that you're just completely unaware of all the horrible things that Joanne has supported over the years, like, or I guess been against, really, I should say.
Yeah, it's the same that like if you support Sydney Sweeney after everything she's been
Oh,
doing with like the
dude!
Beans commercial and interviews and
Speaking of
stuff, like
Sydney Sweeney, I have to show you. I'm gonna post this actually in the politics channel just because I know it is inherently political.
yeah.
The Onion posted an interview with Sydney Sweeney recently.
Oh man.
The Onion is really on point sometimes. So they said, "What is your What is your political affiliation?" And again, I need to emphasize this is the Onion, so everything that I'm saying here that is coming from Sydney Sweeney's perspective is not actually words that Sydney Sweeney said. It's just the Onion, who is a satirical website known for witty humor. So they formatted the interview to make it seem like they said, "What is your political affiliation?" And then she said, "Honestly, I prefer to keep my desire to make America great again private." And then
God.
they said, "What's your stance on white supremacy?" And they had her say, "I'm okay with it if it's done tastefully."
Oh my God. That's so, oh my God. That is so emblematic though of like a lot of right-wing talking
And then
points.
and then the
Jesus
last
Christ.
one was, "What do you have to say to those who have recently criticized you?" And they had her answer be, "Have fun in the camps."
Jesus fucking Christ.
No, it's so bad, but it's perfect.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that's it. So we could do the high spots and low shots of the week. I say this with no pleasure whatsoever, of course, but my low shot has got to be Donald Trump because
Wait, are we not doing
Epstein.
Q&A now?
Oh wait, no, you're right. I jumped the gun completely. We do have Q&A. Of course we're doing Q&A. What you should say is, did you forget about Q&A? And then the answer would be yes. Like what? If you say, are we not doing Q&A? And I said yes, you're just going to be like, fuck everybody? No, of course not. So
I
let's
would
do
have been like,
Q&A.
okay, well, I guess I'll just keep these questions for next week.
Oh God, no, I'm not making more work for us. Fuck that. Show us the questions now.
First questions from Super Blue. How do we stop age verification?
You don't. I don't think you do anyway. The only way you could quote unquote stop it is just not use the service and maybe just kind of show that you think it's a bullshit idea. But I really do think like it's here to stay, and especially in services that you can't like necessarily opt out of per se. So yeah, I just think it's gonna stick, unfortunately. Like I get why you'd ask, but I feel like it's one of those problems that's kind of insoluble. Like, you can't really like overcome it. So yeah. What are your thoughts on this actually? Maybe you have a more optimistic take.
I don't know. It's weird because like I think having an age verification on the surface seems like a pretty good idea just because I do think that like, you know, children on the internet is definitely a problematic thing. But the problem becomes when the age verification is feeding your personal data to all of these billionaire and eventually trillionaire tech companies who use it maliciously. And really, if we can't prevent that from happening, then I would prioritize not giving our data to the tech companies over not letting kids be on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yes. Especially when like I mean, again, I'm just being honest from my perspective. They don't really care about protecting kids. Like there was a video out like a few weeks ago. Now the channel finally did get taken down, but I guarantee it was in large part because this creator made this video where they said like YouTube strikes down accounts or follows up on copyright claims or whatever for fucking bullshit,
Yeah.
right? Like they'll erroneously terminate accounts, target accounts for whatever reason, usually not a good one. And there was an account up, I think it was like Diamond something, I forget the name, thank God. I don't want to remember it. But that had children dancing, and like you could very easily tell it was meant to be like suggestive content, right? And they've apparently been on YouTube for 6 fucking years. So like
Jesus.
don't tell me that you're trying to protect kids or protect these people when you have these kids doing these dances to these like songs that I think some of these songs were like mature songs, I'll put it that way. You know what the fuck you're doing. And so then you're being like, oh, we got to protect kids. Like, well, yeah, obviously you do, but you're fucking not. Like, that's the fucking point. You're fucking not. And thanks to this creator, I think it got enough views and enough attention because I know I did this too. The channel got mass flagged and then finally it got taken down. But that wasn't because of you, YouTube. That's not your victory lap. You understand that. That's because a creator had the conscience and the platform to say, hey, this is really fucked up. And other people took action. See, this is what I mean. Not to go back into politics, because I swore it would be a smaller segment this week. And I feel like I should never say anything about politics and being like, I promise, because I'm a fucking liar, which is why I'd make a great politician. But this is why I say it comes down to us. No institution, no corporation, no anything is ever going to have your best interest at heart, you understand? Because if that guy didn't make that video, that channel would have been up indefinitely. I have no doubt in my fucking mind. YouTube wasn't going to do anything. It's only because the squeaky wheel gets the fucking grease, right? And we made enough of a noise.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way, as much as I don't like him, whatever. But the Jimmy Kimmel situation is another example. Disney was like, holy shit, we're losing a lot of fucking money, reverse course, that anything even fucking happened.
Yeah, where was that kind of mass mobility and mass movement from people when it was Colbert?
Exactly. Exactly. And so, but here's the thing. I wish we would choose more battles and I wish we would choose more meaningful battles because we've proven that when we choose a battle and we fight it sincerely and with fucking gusto, we fucking win more often than not. Sometimes you are going to lose. I don't want to make it seem like it's a cure-all. Like, oh, all you have to do is fight sincerely and you win. No, because that's not real life either. I'm just saying that there are times when you do win and you should always throw the dice on that fucking chance. And I wish we would do it more because this guy made YouTube better objectively by getting that channel off of the web. And we could make society better if we understood like it's us and all these fucking divisions and radicalizations is meant to weaken our base. That's why I find racism and sexism and all these things so fucking stupid because it's like, it's not even fucking real. Really, again, I go back to the black activist James Randolph that said racism was only created, the idea of whiteness was only created because the black workers and white workers were getting close to having a conversation with each other that consisted of, hey, what are you getting paid? Oh, shit, really? Me too. That seems really low for all the work that we do. How much do you think he's making? Pointing at the boss. And then when they figure it the fuck out, what do you think happens next? So you have to create these artificial divisions. Well, actually, you're superior because you descend from this Aryan race of magnificent warriors and gods. And him, that dark skin, that's the mark of the devil. He's evil. You don't want him anywhere around. And people buy it. Like, I'm even amazed today, in the year of our queen, Utami 2025, that the psychological wage of whiteness is still so fucking powerful that there could be no bread in your mouth, but you're subsisting on that wage enough because, hey, at least that black and brown family, at least those people in that community are starving. At least they're not getting food. At least they're not getting health care. It's fucking warped. And we're never going to win anything meaningful until we get rid of this fucking shit. But it's kind of the vicious circle, because in my mind, you also can't get rid of the shit until you get rid of capitalism in a way. So it's like the Ouroboros eating its own fucking tail. And then I really don't know what you do, but it's got to start somewhere. It's just got to start somewhere. And the only thing I take comfort in is that it'll probably start on an economic basis, because people can feel the squeeze. You can only lie to yourself so long that you're not poor or things aren't bad until you're priced out of fucking groceries, right? And that's what's happening with people. And yeah, I think that economic squeeze, that's going to be where the big reaction comes from. But what breaks my heart is it's not going to mean anything unless it's undergirded by also a progress in social issues, also in understanding how racism and transphobia and all these prejudices are bullshit meant to divide us away from the true people that are killing the fucking planet. So yeah, I don't even know where I departed from that tangent in the first fucking place. But yeah, that's it for the fucking week. Oh yeah, questions. Oh yeah, no, that's right, the age verification thing. So that was Super Blue's first question. What's the next question from him here?
Second question from Super Blue. Do you really think Well, this is kind of irrelevant at this point. He said, "Do you really think Republicans are holding out until the December 2nd election in Tennessee to get another Republican in the House?"
Yeah.
This was about Adelita Grijalva getting sworn in, but they've already sworn her in, so it's kind of an irrelevant thing. And apparently, you even mentioned earlier that or I think it was you that mentioned it, that they are going to be voting to release the Epstein files in like what 2 days on Monday, right?
I did not know that. I'm going to assume yes, though, with all the hubbub about it. And apparently, Trump's even trying to make this work to his advantage, because he's asked the DOJ to investigate Democrats that are named like Summers and Clinton and others. So yeah, this Epstein stuff on both sides is definitely going to heat up in the coming weeks. But please continue.
Uh, Continue. Like next question.
I guess just answering your question, or like you were making a statement about like the government shutdown and this and that. Now we know that obviously the government's reopened.
Well, yeah,
So
the government's reopened, and they're going to be apparently doing a vote for the Epstein files in a few days. I think it's on Monday. I could be wrong.
yeah, well, we'll have to see how that vote goes. I'm not holding my breath on anything one way or the other.
House plans to vote Tuesday on releasing the Epstein files. This is from Politico, so you know
Yeah.
it's legit. Yeah. A discharge petition has forced Speaker Mike Johnson's hand. House Republican leaders are planning to hold a vote on Tuesday on legislation to force the release of federal files related to Jeffrey Epstein, according to three people granted anonymity to discuss internal plans ahead of a public announcement. The tentative scheduling decision follows a successful effort by Representatives Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna to sidestep Speaker Mike Johnson and force a floor vote on their bipartisan bill to compel the Justice Department to release all of its records related to the late convicted sex offender. President Donald Trump has made repeated attempts to kill the effort, which continued in a series of Truth Social posts yesterday. But Johnson said Wednesday he intends to move quickly to hold the vote and put the matter to bed. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's coming Tuesday. That's Tuesday, as in like the 18th of November, which means that they're definitely not holding out until December to do anything about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, there
So
you
then we
go.
got a third question from Super Blue. You have got the ultimate power to bring back a wrestler, erase a goat, and see the future one. Erase one, revive one, promote one. What decision will you make? Here are the options. For the erase one, it was between John Cena, The Undertaker, and Roman Reigns. For the revive one, it was between Bray Wyatt, Eddie Guerrero, and Hulk Hogan. And for the promote one, it was between Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, and Jimmy Uso.
Okay. I'll go first on this. I feel like I've got my bearings again after all the political talk. I would actually erase Roman Reigns, and here's why. Because you know how you were just talking, I think, on last week's episode about that Love, Death, and Robots episode about the alternate histories with like
Yeah.
Hitler. I want to see alternate histories. I want to see the alternate history where CM Punk's fucking Mark wet dream of his version of the Shield with Chris Hero and Roman Reigns' place turns out, and how that would have affected Chris Hero's career. So I would say erase Roman Reigns to kind of branch out that universe into that possible future. Um, I love Bray to fucking death, but I would say revive Eddie just because I really think Eddie could teach a lot of these kids what wrestling actually is in this day and age because he does come from a different generation. Bray, I think, is too close. Not that he's not valuable, but like, I would want Eddie to kind of take things back to basics and promote. Man, I love Braun Breaker, but he doesn't need me to promote him. I do think he'll get there eventually. You know what? For shits and giggles, I would promote Jimmy Uso. This way, when he falls flat on his ass, I can show that I was right the whole time that he fucking sucks. So erase Roman, revive Eddie, promote Jimmy. What about you?
I will erase the Undertaker. Fuck him. He sucks. He's a piece of
There you
shit.
go. Yes.
I will revive. I'm really juggling between Bray and Eddie, honestly. I mean, Hulk Hogan. If I could erase him again, I would love to do that. But
Based.
between Bray and Eddie, though, that's tough because, like, I think when Eddie died, wasn't he already like 40-ish?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, I mean, I've heard some things about him being abusive and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't hear any of this. That's crazy.
yeah.
Like to JoJo or?
I'm talking about Eddie, man.
Oh, you're talking about Eddie. Oh shit! I never knew this about Eddie. I mean, was that? Wait, the abuse was that like? Not that it excuses it either way. Was that like pre getting clean and kind of like his second run, or like while he
It
was an
might have
addict?
been, honestly. I don't know.
Very okay. Very interesting. Very interesting.
I think you know what? Yeah, I will revive Bray. I will revive Bray. I think there would be some pretty crazy repercussions for that too.
Yeah.
Especially because like he was literally like in the middle of a babyface run where he was doing redemptive shit, and we had the whole like Uncle Howdy character going on and shit like that. So yeah, and plus he just went way too young. I mean, at least both of the other guys in this died. I mean, Eddie definitely still died too young, but I mean,
Yeah.
he was up there in age for wrestling specifically.
Yeah. He was
And
38 when he died, Eddie. So,
what kind of fucking piece of shit would say, yeah, let's revive Hulk Hogan over these two other guys?
dude, they're out there. I don't know, but they're out there.
And then for the promote one, I think is the hardest one for me because I honestly don't think that I would actively choose to promote any of these guys. If I had to choose one, it would be Braun Breaker, but that's not with enthusiasm. I think Braun Breaker is a solid guy, and maybe he'll be a main event star one day. But no, I'm not. I'm not really a big fan of any of these guys. And if I had to, if I was given more of like a free pass to pick who I wanted, I mean, I'm not even going to bother with Oba for the same reason that you said no to Braun, is just because I don't think he really needs it. So
Yeah.
I think I would actually, if I got a chance to promote someone, it would be Javon Evans.
Oh, cool. Yeah. No, I love that answer. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. But out of these three, I would take Braun just because I think Dominic Mysterio is going to be just fine. He doesn't need promoted. Honestly, I think he's already been pushed further than he probably should be for his talent level.
Yeah.
And I think pushing Jimmy, and this isn't me trying to poo-poo your pick. I think your pick is hilarious, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, I think pushing Jimmy would defeat the purpose of the whole fucking storyline that turned Jey Uso into main event Jey Uso. It's like, fuck, if they're both main eventers, then neither one of them deserves a nickname main event.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take Braun, just because that's the only option on this that I think actually deserves to be pushed. Um, next question from Super Blue is, how do you feel about the Toy Story 5, or how do you feel about Toy Story 5 coming out next year, and is it really needed? I think you know the answer to that one. Obviously, it's not needed. Um, I'm ambivalent though, John. I know you're more of a Toy Story fan than me.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, okay, so yeah, like you said, you know that I love these movies. I even love the fourth one. Because I just thought it was good closure for Woody and Bo Peep and like all that stuff. I'm right now am ambivalent about the fifth one because for one thing, I don't think it's needed in that way. I really thought the fourth one really ended everything nice. You know, Bonnie got the toys, Woody got to be with Bo in a whole new life that was kind of befitting his cowboy persona because it's kind of like the Wild West, metaphorically speaking. You know what I mean? Because you're not
Yeah.
in a home, you're not really owned like in that way. So I'm like, yeah, that seems like that just seems like a solid ending. Now the fifth one, you're gonna have to explain how Woody comes back into the fold with his friends for one thing, and I'm curious how they're going to explain that
Have you seen
because
the trailer for it?
I saw a teaser for it
Well,
where
yeah,
there
yeah,
was
yeah.
like an
Teaser,
iPad.
teaser, teaser.
Yeah, where like the villain seemingly is like an iPad for Bonnie, like a like age appropriate iPad, which I hate that I even use that phrase. But so here's the thing. I think the strength of the Toy Story movies is I've always enjoyed the commentary in those movies about growing up, about finding meaning and this and that. It deals with like a lot of heavy stuff. I mean, God, Toy Story 2 with Jesse's fucking song number about her previous owner
When
loving
she
her
loved
and
me. When she loved
yeah,
me. I
she
remember
yeah,
that.
she loved me and all that stuff and being discarded because your owner aged out and stuff like that. Like it deals with heavy stuff and I've always loved the movies for that. I do think there is potential for a commentary about, our children losing um oh my god, I just saw a Super Blues comment about LA Knight and my eyes starting to twitch. I, I do think there is an interesting commentary and conversation to have about have children lost the ability to play, and like what is the state of play today for young children when it is like seemingly an iPad generation being raised and coming up. And we've kind of touched on it a few times on the show. But do I think we need to make a whole movie around it? Again, I'm ambivalent. I'm not going to say no, fuck this, but also like I'm kind of burnt out on these movies, especially when like this is all, and we got to remember this too. I feel like part of the reason why this is all even happening, um, is that Disney, because they had a few box office hits, box office flops, but I mean taking hits, hard hits at the box office, and everybody was like, "Oh, go woke, go broke," and I hate the whole right wing so much. They're like, "Oh, well, we're not going to do interesting stories anymore about like you know girls maturing and having puberty." Because what was that movie called? Was it called Red?
Turning Red.
That one. Turning Red. Turning Red, I thought was a brilliant movie. Like, it feels like because of the backlash, fiscally and otherwise, we're gonna see less Turning Reds, and I think that's a real fucking shame because I thought that was a really original film with a beautiful message, and instead you're gonna rehash established IP and like, I mean, look, too, if we're gonna do old IP, I honestly would prefer Coco 2 over Toy Story 5. I love the
Oh,
world of Coco. I thought it was a visually stunning fucking film. I'd prefer Coco 2 over Toy Story 5. I'd prefer what's another Pixar movie I really like? We've had enough Cars
No,
movies.
Toy Story. I don't think Toy Story is being made by Pixar anymore, dude.
It's not. Who's
I'm
making it
I'm
now then?
I'm looking at. Oh. Okay. No, no, no. It is. We're good. You're good.
Okay, yeah, that was really perplexing to me. I'm glad you
I'm
clarified that.
sorry about that. Yeah.
No, you're fine. Hey, look, at least you fact check yourself. All right, we should all be
Yeah.
so good. Um,
By the way, Coco 2 is actually in the works.
that's a positive.
So is
But
so is
yeah,
Incredibles 3, by the way.
I heard a lot of people were underwhelmed by two, and that's a shame because I know the first one was like really beloved by people.
Have you never seen Incredibles 2?
I don't think I have, or if I have, it's
Huh.
faded from memory. Because as I tell you all the time, we watch a lot of content together. Like, I can only store so much in the old noggin. But
Yeah, yeah. We should have gotten Onward too.
yeah, that was a good movie. See, I remember that one. And yeah, I want more original properties to be made. I mean, even
I think
Elio, I didn't
I
I
think
didn't think
there's
was
like a
bad.
whole swath of movies that came out in 2020 or the first half of 2021, maybe even just all of 2021, honestly, that deserve a second chance.
Yeah, yeah,
Because COVID really ruined going to the theater for a lot of people. And if I remember correctly, the first $1 billion movie after COVID was Spider-Man No Way Home,
okay,
which was like the culmination of 25 years of storytelling.
yeah, yeah.
I guess I should say 20 because I don't remember. The first Spider-Man movie came out in like '01, I think, right?
I believe you're correct.
I think so. It was either 99 or '01. I could never remember. But yeah, no, it was. And then Spider-Man No Way Home came out in 2021. So 20 years. We'll say 20 years of storytelling. But still, that's crazy. Like you had three different Spider-Men and all of their villains combined in that movie, and that's what it took to get people to mobilize to the theaters after COVID. And that I believe came out in December of 2021. So basically, the entire calendar years of 2020 and 2021 were horrible theater years. So anything that was a box office flop that came out in that time deserves a second chance.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. All right, next question.
Next question is also from Super Blue. He keeps adding. Um, why is Gunta the favorite to win the tournament, and did he really need it? I will tell you right now, Super Blue. The reason that Gunta is the favorite to win the tournament is because it was literally reported by dirt sheets that he was the favorite to win it before the tournament even started. There were literal dirt sheets reporting that the WWE has finally decided on who the final opponent of John Cena is going to be, and it's going to be Gunta. That's why that's why he's the favorite. And does he really need it? No, of course not. Does anyone ever really need anything in wrestling?
No. No.
Thank you.
Next question.
How stupid will the Dems look if they lose the vote on extending the health care in the Senate?
No more stupid than they look already, caving in the first place.
Thank you. Exactly. They already look pretty fucking dumb. That's just gonna, it's the cherry on the dumb sundae.
Yes. Um. Okay. Yeah. So oh no. Super Blue added a question 7. Who wins War Games WWE version, Judgment Day Rhea edition versus Worldwide Underground? Huh.
Huh?
So who wins War Games WWE version of War Games, Judgment Day Rhea edition? So I guess Judgment Day when Rhea was a part of it
Okay, so we're
versus Worldwide
talking.
Underground.
So we're talking like Finn, Rhea, Damien. I guess who would the other two members be? Would it be like fucking JD and Dom?
I guess so, right? Yeah.
Well, then
And
I'm picking Worldwide Underground, baby. Give me that
I'm
Johnny
picking.
Mundo. Come on. I mean, if there's any woman that can stand toe to toe with Rhea Ripley, it is Taya. Come on now.
Yeah, for sure. I was picking Worldwide Underground regardless. Fuck Judgment Day. So
You really
there
would.
you go.
I mean, look, we can have a conversation about Johnny Mundo versus Damian Priest. I might even favor Damian Priest in that singles match. And
Yeah.
and and even like, you've got Finn Balor versus, I guess he would probably be up against like maybe like PJ Black. I would lean PJ Balor in that, or I would lean Finn Balor in that too. But then you've got Dominic Mysterio against probably Jack Evans. My God, that's such a mismatch. It's crazy. And
Yeah.
who was Angelico in Worldwide Underground? I don't think he was he?
Was who in
Angelico.
No, Angelico was adversarial
Oh,
to
it was
Worldwide Underground. 'Cause
fucking
remember the
Ricky. It was Ricky Mundo who would be the
Yeah.
fifth member. And you know what? I'm still betting on him to beat JD's goofy ass.
Yeah. I mean with that head, he can't miss.
So then it comes down to the women. And like, if it's being booked in WWE, obviously Rhea is going to go over Taya. So I guess from that perspective, I would have to pick uh, the Judgment Day in this matchup. But in my head canon, I would pick Worldwide Underground.
Yeah. All right.
Time to move on to our next question.
Yeah, let's see for this
Hazard.
period because I know yeah.
Are you
So Hazard, yeah, I saw his question. I was just wondering if we had any questions before Hazard. So yeah, no, that's good. He said, "What Afro-American actor would you like to see as wait for it, Bruce Wayne / Batman in the new DCU?"
I
Um,
have a joke answer and I have a really good answer.
okay, give them both.
Okay. I'll give my joke answer, then I want your answer, then I'll give my good answer, okay?
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So, joke answer, it's Batman on Broadway, played by Bruce Wayne Brady.
Oh, nice. Um, okay. Just because we were talking about him recently, I do wonder if John Boyega would be a good Batman. But I don't,
I
I don't
love
know if
John
he'd make a good
Boyega,
Bruce Wayne
man.
though.
He's awesome.
Yeah, but see, here's the problem with casting, right? Is you want to make sure that somebody can be both a good Bruce Wayne and Batman because they are kind of, even though the same person, obviously they're distinct personas in life. And I'm just wondering if John Boyega would be good at both, but I think I'm going to do him. However, if you were to do that Batman Beyond movie and you would want an old Bruce Wayne, I would want Keith David to be like old Bruce Wayne because I love his fucking
Oh
voice.
yeah.
I love his fucking voice. Either him or again, but see, Morgan Freeman, I think is like too. He doesn't look intimidating enough. I
Well,
think
he was
Keith
already
David could like.
Lucius Fox.
True. Yes. Yes. So yeah, I would say Keith David for old Bruce Wayne if we ever do a Batman Beyond movie. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, he would have to put on an American accent for this. Again, though, this is kind of leaning into like the Batfleck, like the more like middle-aged man Batman, Idris Elba.
oh, I love that answer. Yeah, that's great. That's
If we're
great.
going younger, I would have to throw my hat in the ring for Lakeith Stanfield. I love that dude.
Ooh, that's also a really interesting answer. You know, that's yeah, yeah. I like that. I just like that. Okay.
There's a lot of talent though. I mean, based on the build, because you usually want Batman to be a bigger guy, Lakeith wouldn't really work. Maybe he could bulk up for the role. But if we
He
really
could.
want to pick like a bigger guy, I mean, it might be a little chalky, but Michael B. Jordan though.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, dude, you talk about bulking up. I mean, the dude's done fucking Creed
Well,
movies.
no, he
Like,
wouldn't. He wouldn't have to bulk up. Really, he's a bigger guy, kind of more naturally.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
No, I was more
he
saying
would be
Lakeith
amazing.
Stanfield is more of like a leaner guy. He would have to bulk up to
Yeah,
play the role.
I
But
think Lakeith Stanfield could, but I love Michael B. Jordan like that. Sold. Yeah.
dude, he's not even 40 yet. He'd be so good. He would be like the new like Christian Bale era Batman.
Hell yeah, dude. And we need to do it too because I'm still waiting for a Black James Bond when I thought it was rumored years ago for Idris Elba.
Yeah,
Oddly
that
enough.
was supposed to be Idris. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for a Black James Bond
So
because you know what? Before I never really played into like culture war bullshit, but just knowing how many white people would cry that are racist, like, yeah, give it to me. Give it to me. And
dude,
then ship me a bottle of those tears to drink.
when people are really bitching about an American citizen who is from an American territory being the halftime show at the Super Bowl, it's gotten bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely,
And
dude.
it's because he
Absolutely.
don't speak American.
Jesus Christ. You know what the funny thing is? Like everybody's like, give these people civics tests, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I would fail a civics test, right? But then again, I'm not the one telling people who can and can't fucking be here. Mainly because I go all the way and I'm like, borders are bullshit, and we should just get rid of all of them, and we should all be able to go wherever we want and treat each other with respect. But you know, that's utopian thinking clearly in this cesspit that we're in. But let's not get too far afield. Next set of questions, because I'm looking at Foster here. Is he next?
Yes, Alex is next. Our first question from Alex is, and I quote, with unaffiliated and Bullet Club teaming together, what other factions should begin an alliance?
Uh,
I mean, how many factions even are there after that? Like, is oh god, what's Evil's faction's name again? Help me out here.
Oh God, it's not just his own name. House of Torture.
Yeah, are they still associated and affiliated with Bullet Club, or are they a separate thing now?
I don't know. I would just say, you know what? Let's put Chaos and just however many guys it is now together. Fucking that'll be nice. But then again, isn't Chaos disbanded? Is Chaos no
Chaos is
longer?
no longer. Yeah.
God damn it! I don't fucking know. Uh,
Here's an actual genuine idea. Actually, I should probably look this up. Does Just Five Guys still exist?
dude, I don't even know. I'm going to assume yes, but I don't know.
Nope, it disbanded. Does Los Ingobernables de Japón still exist?
I feel like they do, just
Los
because Naito
Ingobernables de
left.
Japón. They do still exist. Nope, they disbanded in May. Never mind.
Jesus, you know
Well,
he
what
didn't
other
say the faction.
factions even are there?
He didn't say the factions to be exclusive to New Japan. He just said factions in general. So I would
Yeah, I
say that
was going to
God's Eye,
suggest the Don Callis family team up with someone, but I can't find anyone for them to team up with.
want God's Eye and Stars to train together. So I'm going to say God's Eye and Stars
God's
for
Eye and
Stardom.
Stars. Did he? Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I guess it doesn't
What's a good
have to
point?
be. Well, no, I'm more just like observing that he never said that it had to be a New Japan faction working together
Yeah,
or
that's why
teaming
I'm
up.
jumping on
Yeah.
that. Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I see. I see. All right. Well, I mean, in that case, I see your God's Eye and stars, and I raise you God's Eye with EXV instead.
Well, that would have more synergy long term. So I appreciate that. Next Foster question.
I'm gonna also suggest stars and Neo Genesis.
Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice.
Second Alex question is: if you ran for president, what would your campaign slogan be?
Eat the rich. Straightforward and simple. I mean, am I going to win the election? No, but am I going to cause some trouble while I'm campaigning? Hopefully. So yeah, eat the rich. I'm just going with it. I'm embracing it. Hell, the way the country's going, I might win the election on that. You don't fucking know. What
Yeah,
about you, Bud?
because
What's your
everyone
campaign
else is
slogan?
talking about tax the rich, and you take it a step further.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
say you say we can't be content with merely expecting the rich to follow the rules. They need to be eliminated.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're too hideous to live. Uh,
What would be a good campaign slogan for me? Hmm. That's a really hard one because I don't know how I would run. Actually, yeah, I do. Um, oh, I should have thought about this ahead of time because this is genuinely difficult for me. Although I guess I couldn't have thought about it ahead of time because Alex does the last second questions. Shit. I've already discussed that if I were to run for president or that if I were to run for office in general, I would run on breaking up monopolies
yeah.
and really just hyper focus on breaking up monopolies and not allowing monopolies to exist. Um,
Don't be a mark. Condemn monopolies to the dark.
that's a
Vote for
rhyme.
Ashton.
I don't know about that one, but it's a little wordy.
Hey, I'm trying,
I
okay? I
know,
know
I
you're
know.
struggling, so I thought I'd come in there.
Maybe my campaign slogan would be something about freedom, um, just because people love their freedom and people who love America who are like patriotic love America because of freedom. Um, Maybe I would do a play on Trump's and rather than say make America great again, I would say make America free again. Ooh, that's a good
Ooh, there
one.
you go. There you go.
Yeah,
All
that is a
right.
winner. We're moving on. That's a winner.
Yeah, you ain't gonna
Um,
do better than that.
Third up from Foster, if you had I think this says bindle, what would you carry in it? I don't know what a bindle is though.
It's like those things that you see like homeless people in like shows carry, where it's like a stick and like a little
Oh,
thing. Yeah.
see, and I've always called those knapsacks. Is bindle the correct term for that?
Yes, it is. Knapsack, I feel like is wrong. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, because knapsack I look more as like almost not quite a backpack, but still closer to a backpack than that. So yeah, I don't know. Um, but for a bindle, I would probably just carry a banana, my favorite book, and a phone so that I could bring more stuff for my bindle, or I could have people bring more stuff for my bindle. But no, I think just some food, my favorite book, and maybe my favorite photo, so that I would never forget what I was leaving behind. You know, at least the things that I wanted to remember. So
Yeah. I mean, the good news for me is that I am a pretty big, strong guy, so I can have a pretty big bindle. Um, so I would, I mean, you know what? I'm going to treat it as if it was a survival situation. I would bring one of those water bottles that filters water for you so you can drink clean water from dirty water.
nice.
I would bring a fire starter. That seems pretty obvious. I would bring at least one change of clothes, if not two. I would probably bring a full change of clothes plus an extra couple pairs of underwear, actually, so that like if I want to like go swimming or something, I can just go swimming in my underwear and then change those up real quick. I would bring, in terms of technology, I would absolutely necessarily have to bring a laptop. Uh, I think just because this is like a fantasy situation and I'm kind of figuring out what belongs in my bindle in an ideal world. I actually know the exact laptop that I would want, and it is the Asus Zephyrus Z13, I think it's called. Oh no, it's not even Zephyrus. It's an Asus ROG Flow Z13. So basically, it is a tablet with an attachable keyboard. So it's effectively a tablet and a laptop at the same time. And of course, I can't just have a laptop. I got to bring a phone. I would actually probably bring an iPhone. And actually, more specifically, I would have to bring the latest iPhone, the iPhone 17 Pro, because it has a special wireless chip in it that gives it insane connectivity. So even if I'm out in the wild, I'm still probably going to be able to connect to like satellites and shit. So that's cool. And I would bring my AYN Thor to play games on. And then I would bring seeds. I would bring a bunch of different seeds for foods that I can grow. And I guess just for shits and giggles, I would also bring a really nice knife to make sure that I would be able to like harvest stuff and kill game and stuff like that. So there's my bindle.
That's quite a bindle. All
Yeah.
right. Next question.
Next question is from Alex Foster. What villain in the media would actually be a cool boss to have?
Now, Foster, I know you're in chat, so you can check me on this, but I'm taking media very broadly to include movies, TV shows, games, because I'm using media in the broadest possible context.
I agree with that.
So for me, Shang Tsung, I would laugh so hard watching him suck out souls. I don't think it would ever not pop me. And I would bring people willingly to him to suck said souls. I think he'd be the coolest boss ever. And he would teach me sorcery on the side. Fuck yeah. So that's my pick. What about you, bud?
Um, hmm. What's a villain that I wouldn't mind having as a boss? I would say, hmm, That's you came up with an answer really fast, and now I feel pressured to like
Concerning, isn't it?
think
But
fast.
yeah, yeah.
You just love Shang Tsung though, so it was always going to be an easier one for you than me. I don't really
I love
have
a lot of ones, but yeah, he's
I don't really
definitely
have a favorite go-to villain.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
maybe yeah.
actually, I know that he's no longer a villain, but he definitely was a villain at one point, so I'm going to use this, even if it's a cop-out answer. Beerus.
Cool. Cool. We'll take that. I know Caster Sales in chat asked some questions, but then I think that's it. So
We do have one last question then from Rotten Butter at the end.
okay. Okay.
But Caster Sales only asked, I think, two questions, and they were one, do you watch slash read My Hero Academia? And I can honestly say no to both of those, but John, I think you have a different answer.
I did watch in the past. I haven't touched it in a long time though.
Right. And then the second one was, did you ever watch Candyman? That's a no from me, Chief.
No, no, and we probably won't. Maybe that'll go on our list for next year's Halloween because I know the big thing is The Walking Dead. But we'll probably still want to do movies in the meantime. Maybe we could just put Candyman on there. So color us in for Halloween 2026, I guess, tentatively.
2027. Final question from Rotten Butter. Who are some reactors that you watch? Who are some of the reactors you watch?
Some ranchers. Well, I mean, we watch Alicia Dweeb
Yeah.
and we watch Abby Corrine, who I like. Well, we used to. She hasn't uploaded anything in a while.
Yeah, we also watch Iman Snow, who they used to react to things together, but they had a falling out.
Yeah. Occasionally, I watch No Life Shaq for his rap reactions.
Oh yeah, dude, he's great. I've watched some of his stuff too. I love that. He's funny as hell.
Yeah.
I actually love his voice, honestly.
Yeah. Same.
I, let me actually. Just immediately, I can tell you, probably the person, the reactor that I've been subscribed to the longest is Mary Cherry.
Oh, okay.
The reactor that I literally just subscribed to like this morning because I thought that um, they had a really good reaction to K-pop Demon Hunters is, oh God, where is it? I gotta find it. I don't remember their name because again, they're like brand new to me. Um, Aurelia.
Okay, I've never heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she is a former, I think maybe even current, honestly, I don't know, member of the military, and she just started her MCU journey. She reacted to Deadpool first, and people got on her case like, "Oh, you're watching it out of order." Then she reacted to Captain America, and she got even more flack for that. And then she finally did Iron Man, and I've enjoyed all three of those reactions. But she also did K-pop Demon Hunters, and that was really cool. She also reacted to Tropic Thunder, which what a classic movie, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Though it's crazy though because she seems to be like one of those like really sheltered types. She hasn't really seen many movies. I guess I mean I use sheltered. That's a pretty horrible way of putting it, considering she's in the fucking military. But like sheltered in terms of like media specifically,
Right.
because she hasn't seen many movies. And like someone mentioned in the comments of her Tropic Thunder reaction, hey, I can't believe you didn't recognize Tom Cruise as Les Grossman. She was like, oh yeah, I don't think I've ever even seen anything with him in it. It's like, damn, I don't think I've ever met anyone before that's never watched a Tom Cruise movie. That's wild.
That is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all from me. Can you think of any other reactors you listen to?
Um, I do have a lot of reactors in my subs that are XG reactors specifically. Um, Larry
Yeah.
Wise is one of them. Koala T Reacts is one of them. Kayla Michelle is one of them. She actually literally just uploaded her XG Gala music video reaction. Um, there are ones popping up. Let's see. Um, let's just call it here. Honestly, I don't need to keep going.
Right. Then we can go back to what I really jumped the gun on. Again, it shows that I was like itching to just get out of here, I guess. But high spots, low shots for this weekly recap. And you know, guys, that this segment now is just very all encompassing, goes way beyond wrestling. So my low shot is going to be, and it really pains me to give this, but Donald Trump. Because man, you just can't shake Epstein at all. It just keeps coming back like a turd in the fucking toilet bowl that keeps floating up to the surface. And yeah, this might be the worst yet. These emails and everything, because they are in a fucking panic, and I don't know what's going to happen Tuesday. But yeah, I think before year's end, some crazy stuff's going to happen with all this. So yeah, Trump is my low shot.
That's beautiful. I love that for all of us, frankly.
Yeah,
My low shot. I'm not actually going to do this, but I am going to say honorary low shot to Bill Clinton because he just can't dodge the smoke. It's hilarious,
yeah,
honestly. The thing is, though, like I think everyone knew that Bill Clinton was going to be involved in the Epstein stuff as well, but the very specific fact that he is now getting his name brought up because he got head from Donald Trump is the funniest shit ever.
yeah. God damn.
My actual low shot though is going to go to um you picked Trump. I'm tempted to just agree with you and just say Trump, but I always like to come up with something on my own, even if it's less of a perfect answer.
Right.
Um, God, who's been catching a lot of shit lately, man? Shit. Um,
Um.
oh, you know what? I actually do have a good low shot to back you up. Mike Johnson. He has been doing everything in his fucking power to prevent a vote from happening, and not only in the last week has he had to swear in Adelita Grijalva, which he clearly did not want to do, but now uh, his hand's been forced, and a vote is happening to release the Epstein files on Tuesday. So he's just losing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if his name came up in the files as well, and that explains why he tried so hard to block them from being voted for?
Dude, I would never want people to let him live it down because he postures like, oh, Christianity's the way and this and that. And of course. Um, so
You know
yeah,
what? Actually, I don't know. Did they have? This is a genuine question, by the way. I'm not trying to be. saltier or smarmy or anything. Um,
Yeah.
do we know, was Epstein's Island only young girls, or were there boys there too?
That's a great question. I've only known it to be young girls, but I wouldn't be surprised if boys were on there too.
Okay. I only say that because there are very, very heavy rumors that Mike Johnson is a big fan of Grinder.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. High spot is a bit tougher for me this week because Democrats really aren't getting the wins that they should be getting thanks to Chuck Schumer now. Like they had a great election week, but that again was then. This is now, and
Schumer, Fetterman. I could make Fetterman a low shot too, honestly, given he had another fall recently and had his face all fucked up and had to get stitches.
I love that hard times thing I posted where he became liberal again after his second fall.
Yeah.
God damn. High spot is so difficult. Just because I feel like nobody's really winning right now, and I
No,
don't want to
it's
give it to
about
you.
who's losing harder rather than about who's actually winning.
Exactly. Um, Jeez, I'm sorry. You know what? Why don't you go first on high
I was
spot if
going
you
to
don't
say
mind?
another viable low shot candidate would be TNA.
Yeah, TN. Oh my God, yeah.
High spot though, I know that this is relevant like 3 weeks ago at this point, but I still kind of want to at least acknowledge as an honorable high spot Miku Aono for winning
Yeah,
the Mario Gold World Championship.
in a
Also,
great match, yeah.
another really random high spot goes to Ram Kaicho, aka Atomic Banshee. She is the new Sukeban Women's World Champion.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, bro. I could have just gone wrestling. I'm trying to think too hard about life. I could just go to wrestling. Kabuki Warriors. They won
There you
tag gold
go.
this Monday.
There
So
you
yeah,
go.
3-time tag champs. Yeah, Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, there you
All
go.
right, guys. Thank you so much for joining
Oh,
us. Leave a
I
like.
want to give my actual high spot though, by the
Oh,
way.
I am so sorry. Please give your
Those
high
were
spot. Yeah,
honoraries. Yeah.
yeah.
Again, though, it's not even that big of a deal. I'm just going to keep it to wrestling as well. My actual high spot's going to go to John Cena for becoming Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, also an excellent choice. Excellent, excellent choice. All right, now I've jumped the gun twice tonight, so let me just because I feel like I've misbehaved. Let me
No,
just
you're
ask:
good. You
Is
can close us out,
it
buddy.
okay if I take us home? Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. Be sure to leave a like if you find out, guys. Subscribe, click the bell icon notifications so you miss any of that troll. We're gonna check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Blue Sky and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the WC. We will see you guys again Wednesday. We changed it from Tuesday. That was my fault. I shouldn't have co-signed to Tuesday when I did. That is my family day now when I get together with family because my brother-in-law has off from work then. So we're gonna do it Wednesday at 6. And yeah, I think we got like what, Ashton, 4 matches that we agreed to react to. So it's going to be a
Three or
real
four, something along those lines.
I think it's 4, but yeah, like you said, it's 3 or 4. I know it's no more than 4. Um, and so yeah, we're doing that Wednesday at 6. So guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Football fans, enjoy Sunday football. Hope it's good. And yeah, until then, tune in. Peace out.